Hi, how are you?
Tomorrow, why you gotta do it right now?
Huh?
Like you're gonna talk to us tomorrow, why you gotta do it right now?
Whatever the job requires.
So I'm glad that y'all playing games. See the next 2 days.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like. With that being said, what do you have planned for practice today?
Execution things on the offensive end, on the defensive end, add a couple things defensively, and then some cleanup stuff and then play a little bit.
How do you feel Saturday went as far as I feel like Saturday open practice was a lot different than the kind of open practice that we've seen you have at USC the last couple of years.
Yeah, it was good. I thought the guys, really approached it the right way. Just trying to get better, and we had a chance to work on some things offensively and defensively as well. And they had great energy. They set the tone early, and it kind of carried over through practice.
That free throw shooting is key for you. Make it.
Yeah. Because they were talking stuff about how the rims bent up, we can't make. So I just wanted to show them it was a little easier than they thought. With the contested shots, they pushing me in my back. Don't matter, Andrew.
You ever had a free throw intercepted by a practice jersey?
No.
Do you know who is going to be out tomorrow?
Just Brandon.
After Saturday, after you mentioned wanting to have a 10 or maybe 9 rotation, of course, at that point, we're like going through the mental math. We're watching practice. We're like, okay, so you have a lot of, again, second year in a row, you have a lot of options. How do you, what did you learn from last year having maybe too much depth in some ways, too many guys that can help you this time around. Whether it's the guys, their own expectations, or communicating that. Just how do you do a better job with the depth this year?
No, it's tough. Like I said, we have a lot of guys that deserve to play. It's kind of like the USA team. You have a lot of guys that deserve to play, but you can't play all those guys. And so, for me, just having a constant dialogue with the players and communicating, and just let them know that this is what I'm looking at. This is the sample size of games that I'm looking at, and then you just gotta be ready. When your time is called, you gotta be ready. And so, it's a tough situation, like you said, because we have a lot of guys on this team that deserve to play, and so they all can't play.
That group that was working together on that one court. I know you're thinking a lot of training camp you've been dividing up into random groups in some ways, but there's a PG, Russ, Kawhi, Zoo, Nico, Marcus / group. Is that more or less kind of the group you're looking at to be a starting unit?
Well, I'm gonna start Nico tomorrow, just to give him a chance to give him a look. We started T-Man in the first game, started Rocco. We're gonna start Nico tomorrow, and just kind of giving all these guys a feel on how it looks and who plays well together and who fits.
What is it that you need from that starting power forward spot?
I think being versatile on the defensive end. I think being able to guard multiple positions, 1 through 4, and T-Man shows he can do that. We know he can do it. Nico's done it in spurts and Rocco as well. So just being versatile at that position defensively on any given night. We want to put him on DeMar DeRozan tonight, Marcus the next night, Steph Curry the third night. Just want to be able to have a guy that's flexible in that regard. So just looking at different combinations.
You have, I wanted to ask about the fact that Jug got promoted, Greg Pine got promoted, the guys who've been in the analytics department of this team for a good decade. What they are sharing with you, how have you been able to take what they have, share it with the team, coach them through that, but also maintain your feel for, how you kind of have to communicate without the analytics?
Yeah, it's been good, and just it's a great sign when you have guys growing in the organization. Moving up, and like I said, Trent Redden, you forgot, and Mark Hughes as well. We got a bump as well, And so, anytime you can grow inside your own organization, that's a good sign, and we like having those guys around. I lean on Judd a lot, just as far as just analytics, as far as what works for us offensively, what we need to get better at. Things that we got to change, and he's been great for me. I can hit him at 1, 2 in the morning, he responds right away. And so, just having their knowledge of the game, what trends are happening on both sides of the basketball, what could be more effective for us, and then so those guys have been really good for me.
How do players receive that information? Like, how does the telephone chain kind of work?
No, they receive it well. They receive it well and understand that the game has changed, it's changing. And, we got to continue to keep getting better, on both sides of the basketball. And that's why Judd, like you said, and Pine will put in that work just to make sure that we have all the information we need to try to make sure we're doing the right things on both sides of the basketball.
One thing that's kind of struck me since being in Hawaii and whatnot is there's a big contrast between how last season ended, where it just felt like the general thought around the team was so downcast, another opportunity missed by injury, and just felt pretty negative. The spirit the last 2 weeks has been uniformly regarded as very good and very high. Open practice as well showed that. Was it just guys getting healthy, or is other stuff happening to change that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is health. I think guys getting healthy and being healthy. With PG and Kawhi being able to start camp and with no restrictions. That was huge, and I think it was huge for them mentally, just knowing that we're going into camp and we're 100% healthy because. When you start camping, you're limited, you're not really 100%, and then the game starts. And so, it's just tough. And so I think just their mindset of just wanting to be on the floor, wanting to play. And like I said, from last year, it was tough because, we felt we had opportunity to do something special. And, PG goes down, and Kawhi goes down after game 2. And, you never want to see anyone get injured, but, a lot of people say, oh, they're hurt again or whatever. But the biggest thing is that they're messed up mentally because they want to be out there. And so that's the hardest part of just, having your players who have to go through that, knowing they want to be on the floor, knowing they want to help their team, and they just can't. And so seeing them come back, like I said, 100% and being healthy and just the vibe of our team is totally different.
When you said that Kawhi will talk to you sometimes, and Kawhi mentioned that too on Saturday, like, yeah, I'll call him up.
Yeah.
From those conversations this summer, like, did you ever get a sense that he was like, okay, Kawhi's in a good place to start this year?
Yeah, he was in a great place, and just I know it's tough, after the surgery, but just all the work he had to put in to get to this point. PG as well, missing the last 10, 15 games of the season, the playoffs, and so just the work they had to put in to get to this position, to this point. And so it's credit to those guys. And so just coming to camp, talking to Kawhi beforehand, like, will you be ready for camp? So yeah, I'll be 100%. I'll be ready to go. And his energy, him and PG's energy alone has been great. That's why camp has been so good for us.
How do you approach? How do you approach these last?
Go ahead, man.
I
give y'all both. He's gonna ask a lot of questions.
That's fine.
All right.
I just wanted to ask about the preseason games. Get the same team coming in here, defending champs and everything. Like, I remember when you guys went to Ontario, that whole day just was a mess. Like, getting to the game, getting through the game didn't go well for you guys in particular. Is that something that you keep in mind when you go into this last week of preseason about ending this part of training camp and preseason on the best note possible?
As far as
last year, last 2 trips to Ontario didn't go on. We're not going to Ontario. Just staying here.
No, the biggest thing is just keep building the right habits. I think, like I said, it's early on, and we know the champs are coming in, but it doesn't have anything to do with us. Right now we're focused on getting better and working on what we need to work on to get better going into the season. And so each game, each practice, we got to continue to keep getting better, and we're in it for the long haul. So I wouldn't put too much into these last 2 games. I was putting more so on, are we playing the right style of basketball? Are we doing the right things defensively? Are we giving space, offensively? Are we making the right cuts? And so that's what our mindset has to be, is to make sure we get better every single night. Go ahead, yeah, you good.
34 minutes, Kawhi and PG together in preseason. I know it's preseason, but you guys are plus 24 in that time. Like, do you take anything from that, or is it just preseason?
No, I take a lot from it. I think having both of those guys on the floor together is really good for us, and then also being able to stagger those guys throughout the season. We can always have one guy on the floor, and so defensively, like I said, just starting the game with the mindset. Kawhi and PG locked in defensively. We're a tough team, to score on, and then offensively we're good as well. So we just gotta have that mindset when those guys are on the floor that for 48 minutes we want to make sure that we're playing the best basketball possible on the defensive end, and then we know offensively is going to take care of itself.
Thank you, Ty.
Thank you.
At the open practice, I was noticing that they had that group of like Kawhi, PG, Russ, Nico, Marcus Zoo, and then you're kind of watching that group the whole time. What was going on there? Like, why were you watching that group specifically?
Kind of just the groups that they put us in, but really it just goes to show like how many different lineups that we're going to be using. So like going through practice and everything, they'll put us in different groups and kind of switch things up just to see how things work.
How do you define yourself as a player at this point in your career?
You said how?
Yeah.
Really it's just knowing yourself, knowing what you could do, what you bring to the team. You obviously talk to your coaches and figure out what they want from you, and then kind of just use these summers to craft your abilities to the best they can be.
We haven't gotten a chance to talk to you since the pre-draft when you were included in the deal. The deal fell through. I'm sure you noticed all the reactions about you possibly going all the way to the other side of the country and then it not go through. Like, what was that day like for you? You've been here since 2019.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys.
It was I don't know, it was my first time that close to a deal. I just remember waking up and I actually found out on Twitter. I was scrolling down and I seen Woj tweet it, and then Lawrence called me, my agent called me, and it's kind of just like a 3-4 hour kind of weigh-in process, and it ended up falling through. So it's just back to square one.
Was it relief or was it?
I won't say relief. I was just kind of waiting to see what would happen. Because when they first called me, they said they were still doing physicals and making sure everything was straight. So it was kind of just a waiting game to see what would happen. and then I got the call back and it said it fell through. So I won't say really, just go through the business.
How long went between the time when they were telling you what they were going to do and the time between when it fell through? Like, I'm curious what your mind is going through.
Yeah, I'll probably say a couple hours. I remember Elle calling me and just kind of explaining the deal a little bit, and like telling me the process that was going to happen. Like, they were going through the physicals and looking at all the players and everything, and then I'll probably say like 2 to 3 hours later, he called me back and explained why it fell through, and yeah.
In this roster as it's constructed, with so many people who sort of can play a position like yours and you theirs. Like, how do you sort of view the opportunity that might be there for you and staying ready for that when it might be scarce?
Yeah, kind of just said just staying ready. Since I've been here, we kind of had a team that was mostly wing related. So just being ready for opportunities when they come. No matter what happens, it's always a long season. So here and there will be opportunities, and just being ready when your name's called.
Last summer, like, you bulked up heavy because the team wanted you to play more of the forward. But do you feel like that affected your shot at all? And do you feel like what was your approach to your body and your skill this summer compared to last summer?
Really no different. I think that summer I just kind of focused in the weight room a little bit more, and that was really like my first time putting on a lot of weight in that regard. So it took a little bit of adjustment to get used to it, but it wasn't nothing crazy, nothing I could handle. It's just taking that summer to relearn yourself a little bit, and ever since then I just kind of took it and ran with it, staying around the same weight for this year. It's kind of just normal now.
What are your main focuses offensively going into practice and then for tomorrow as well?
Yeah. Also, that goes into kind of the lineups that we use. Different lineups are going to need different things. So it's really just whatever the team needs at that moment. Sometimes it's being ready to shoot. Sometimes it's scratching rebounds, cutting. So many different things that you could do to help these lineups, help this team, and it's kind of just knowing your personnel when you're out there.
You went to the free throw line 10 times Tuesday, and y'all needed that to hold on, make sure y'all ended the trip in Hawaii and Seattle with a win. And it feels like every time you're more aggressive, you're slashing. Mm-hmm. That's the best version of you. Do you feel that too? Do you feel like when the ball's in your hands, you can be the best version of yourself as a player?
Yeah. Being aggressive is definitely a good version of it, but it's also being able to play without the ball. When I do get the ball, I can make plays for myself and my teammates. Kind of just being versatile with it, being able to cut off the ball, move, set screens, slips, all that type of stuff. I keep saying it, but it just goes to, with what group we have out there, and every group is going to need something different. So kind of just, you always want to stay aggressive, but you want to do it within the team.
The team chemistry it seems super high. I've never seen Kawhi smile and laugh so much in my life. I see the Instagram posts. Can you talk about the team chemistry going to the season?
It's great. Most of these guys on this team has been here for a while. We have some new pieces, new additions that came in great. As you said, everybody's smiling. It's good vibes. People are excited, and the team camaraderie is real up right now.
How has your comfortability sliding up or down position kind of changed as you've gotten more?
Yeah, I feel comfortable, and we have so many guys that can do it. We have multiple guys playing 1 through 4. I remember one game last year, T started at the 5. You never know what T Lue's gonna come up with, but they know that we could do that. Play 1 through 4, guard different positions. Knowing the plays at different positions, so it's really just our preparation, knowing the plays at every position, knowing personnel on defense, and yeah.
Kawhi was saying Saturday that his health feels so much better than it did last year in training camp. He was able to do so much more. And then he mentioned Paul having a different mindset, as he put it, more serious mindset. You you've spent so much time around these guys. You're one of the long tenured guys here too. Do you see any differences between those two as the season approaches, or at least what you've seen so far in camp?
I mean, I won't say difference. I mean, those guys are always locked in. I know this summer that they took care of their bodies really well, and they've been saying that they feel good, they look good. So you know, just coming in locked in. Their mindset has always been on go. So you know, we're excited that everybody's healthy.
How much of that vibe you're talking about is the fact that Kawhi is out there healthy, PG's out there healthy?
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, when you got your main guys out there playing with you, having a good time, locked in, it you know, kind of trickles down the line. So you know, having those guys out there with us, healthy, playing good, feeling good, it's a lot.
What does it mean to compete for a rotation spot in preseason and training camp? Like, this isn't 2K. Like, we're not simulating rosters and whatnot. You guys are working, practicing. We see just games and a little bit of what y'all do before practice.
Yeah.
Like, what is that process of? These are the available spots. Fight to get some minutes now.
Yeah. I mean, kind of coming in, everybody knows that you know what you're fighting for. So you know, going through these practices, training camp practices, and you know, these days, these preseason games, it's really just you know, showcasing what you can do. So you know, everybody's competing, and you know, it's kind of the same every year. You know, you come in, you know what you got, you know what you need to do, and you know, just put your mind to it.